The water is flowing upwards. As it does. Strange gravity. What do you mean, strange gravity?
Hello, Corvo. Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that men call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
Something's not right. Yeah. Press right click to execute a fast and stealthy forward dash through the world. You can also use it to move upward, but the distance is reduced. Aiming at ledges will allow you to blink forward and climb up. Yeah. That's why I wanted to do all the exploration that I could before, because now it's very easy to tell where I've been and where I haven't. Not in this area. We haven't been in this area at all. Leap of faith. Oh. Yeah. I failed to recognize that, actually. So we hold right click. And we jump over there. You cannot save her, says the fallen letter. No. She is dead. Piero's spiritual remedy. It's a mana potion. Funny. Does mana recover automatically? Yes, it does. At least here it does. Who's that? Well, how did that happen? How did I miss that? Oh. Oh. It's actually kind of difficult. It was super easy. Yeah, you can't do it from here. At least it doesn't look like you can. Who are these people? I recognize his face somehow. Emily's letter. Corvo, I am very sad. They say that you're dead like mother, but I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it into the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it. So please come for me if you can. Is he the... He's the, Is he the guy that was painting? I don't remember exactly. Look, our mana isn't regenerating. Who's that? Is that her? I think that might be her. I don't know, actually. I don't know. We have more of this. And this is the guy that was being painted. That's where we are. That's where we start. That might be the prison, for all I know. I'm not 100% sure. It would make sense because we came from here. Is that the tower? I think that is the tower. You know, where we are right now, where we're sleeping. I mean, we're not sleeping at the tower, we're sleeping elsewhere, but maybe it isn't. Oh, look, the whales are making noise. I think. There's something here. It's us, I think. Wanted and whatnot. A bit of a challenge. What do you mean a bit of a challenge? Ah. I think I know what that means. To climb up, aim the power at the edge of a... Oh yeah, it changes. It's very straightforward. It changes the icon. The outsider is there. So I think the mana regenerates as long as I don't overuse it. So if the mana is regenerating... Yeah, we should do it like this. If the mana is regenerating, I shouldn't use it again. And that way it regenerates automatically. This is quite something.
In the days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Lovely! I have a steampunk heart in my hand. Equipping the heart, capital H, in your left hand helps you locate bone charms or runes, even through walls. The heart beats and lights up when you are facing a bone charm or rune, and it beats faster as you get closer. The heart will whisper if you press right-click while targeting a person or location.
This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time is meaningless here. Neither seconds, nor centuries.
That's the whispers. I right-clicked.
Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky. The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort and bones gnawed by teeth. This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. And this place is their doom. I can feel a great age ending. This place is the end of all things, and the beginning.
Well, we have a place to go. So I imagine if I middle click, I can change. You could probably assign it to shortcut keys as well. Yeah. Probably safer, considering the fall. It's kind of far away. Haha! More healing. Or mana. Not that we need it, mind you. Why did we make it up here? You may ask. You may indeed. But the secrets of this game are not mine to reveal. Like, I don't know why we went up there. No enemies though, so far. Look at the tower. It's the tower. It's the tower. Yeah, we're gonna need to go up the tower. Now with the super magic, it's gonna be easy. "65 meters away." Everything is sideways. There's books. It's bad news. I don't want to be here. Oh. Of course, another one of these. I don't think we're gonna keep them. We are dreaming after all, so... Can I just go up? Not really. Oh, interesting. So you can be a little bit creative with your climbing. Can I go down there? Oh, I see the bottom. Oof. Oh, that's what we were supposed to do. This is pretty great. And here is the rune. What is it? Once you've collected some runes, open the journal and go to the power section to exchange them for powers. Runes can be collected and used to acquire supernatural powers. I like that. I like that. So, it's just basically a currency. Costs 2 runes, yeah. So right now we have a blink. Costs 3. Wait, oh, the upgrade costs 3. I see. Rapid forward movement for a longer distance. That's just basically what it is. I can't buy anything for the moment. I could buy dark vision. See in the dark and see living beings through walls, including their fields of vision. That actually is probably really good. Agility is also pretty interesting. But it costs 2 runes. So I'm gonna go with dark vision. Press right click to see in the dark and to reveal living beings through solid walls. You can also see their fields of view, as well as the visual representation of the sound you make. Level 2 shows you important items through walls, like security devices, weapons, ammo, coins, keys, and traps. Really nice.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the Loyalists' inner circle to learn what they've got in mind. Freaking hell, yeah. The loudspeakers always saying the same thing. Use the heart to find the rune near the Houndspits pub. I will absolutely do that. So, that's not what I want. In fact, hold F. And let's see. So we want the heart, dark vision on 1, blink on 2, and we want the heart on 3. And the crossbow can be on 8. No, actually I'm gonna mark it on 0. And we can put that away. What's making all this racket? Bone charms. Bone charms provide small supernatural benefits. Locate them by listening for the, quote, song, unquote, they emit, also known as racket. By default, you can activate up to 3 bone charms at once in the bone charms section of the journal. And we have 3 of them. No longer making the racket. We have Raven. Drop assassination gives you a bit of health. Don't want that. Swim speed increased slightly for river affinity, and quick dodge. Enemies miss more often with arrows and bolts. I don't want any of those, because I don't want to be found by enemies. Rumors and sightings. Oh, that thing is making noise. From DAUD. For over a year now, I have lived away from the Abbey, without the company of my overseer brethren, or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed with me sleeping in the dens of cutpurses, murderers, and worse, and the nights have seen me prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall. I have taken my meals with killers. At times I have ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the weathered clothing and bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by these rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who were not fit to live, executing them justly, and using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So for this trick has allowed me to make my name among my murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named DAUD in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as DAUD. It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pandician coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to the legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead and the witch controlled the crew, with DAUD still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell of a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch officers of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. Then a period of silence followed. Years, we now believe, he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning and in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers in the forbidden arts. DAUD is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy itself, and for a time, before a schism developed, he counted the Brigmore witches among his allies. All the while he honed his craft, and it is during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. New reports emerged of a dusky-skinned assassin, paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and in the other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke. From a nearby rooftop, he gestured, and a noble woman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom on the cobblestones below. Most recently, as this new threat of plague has risen in Dunwall, DAUD has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seem loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of his magic is dedicated to lulling their minds, enslaving them. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come upon a strange scene. Carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother, she was taking a shortcut through the tailors' district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw into an abandoned apartment used by miscreants for gambling and trading hobber weed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given by her local overseer. A man she described as resembling DAUD was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit, as if in argument. He took a carving made of pale bone from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. He farted very loud, that's what happened. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. She wasn't that quiet. The fart was just so loud that she could slip away without nobody hearing. There can be no doubt. DAUD is an agent of the outsider and must die, for there is no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and the great purpose of my life. Until DAUD is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way toward him. I will not drop my guise or don my overseer's mask again until DAUD breathes no more. This is pretty important because we might find this this person. Mystical fish artifact. These things make a huge racket. We also have mystical rat artifact. What is going on? We have good lungs, breath capacity in water increased slightly. That's interesting. I actually might want that. It says activated. Oh, I cannot. It said I could have 3 bone shards, but because I got the other thing, I can have more. Either way, moderate keyhole peeping magnification. That sounds lovely. Breaking glass sound is moderately reduced, and that's it. And then we have, we could just equip all of them, but I don't want that. What exactly did I get? Upgrades. Enables one additional bone shard to be active. The mystical rat artifact. The mystical fish artifact enables one additional bone charm to be active. Oh, they are upgrades. So we get them, and they immediately apply. Okay, and then these are the ones that we bought, which was the bone charm capacity upgrade by 1. So that's why we have 6. Yeah, that's a lot. That's pretty decent. We have a pouch. Is it still beating? No. No, I'm not sure. A mystical wolfhound artifact. Bone charms for days. A pouch. Yeah, we'll read the books. But first we'll quieten the room. This is ridiculous. The amount of artifacts we get. My god. Okay, so I need to read you. Let's first look at our journal and see what the bone shards have for us. Powers effects slightly improved. That sounds good. While white rats can be consumed for mana. White rats won't attack you. I like that. I like that. Blast resistance damage from explosions slightly reduced. I don't want to be messing around with explosions, so I'm good. Let's see what we get with the new upgrades. Enables one additional bone shard, one additional bone shard, one additional bone charm. All of them are one additional bone charm. Let's read these things. Field survey notes a royal spy. The royal spy. This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the distillery district, but more slowly than I had expected. The ruffians operating there have been cunning, I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flagged in public and sent beneath the royal executioner's blade. If I had my way, that mute bastard would be working night and day, removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us. But I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine? Jessamine would rather... Was that the Empress' name? That was the Empress' name. Jessamine would rather spend her time with a royal protector. That's Corvo. She was banging him. At least he's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety, but a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. I'm willing to believe that the strong arm wasn't the reason why she was hanging out with Corvo. It was anyway. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wine glass or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us, threats requiring meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined, I'm afraid. Here within Dunwall Tower, she receives instruction from the finest tutors known in the Isles, yet her mother spoils her, and she spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the Empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. I think that back in his day, Emperor Caldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The waterlock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way into the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday the wrong person is going to slip in, and we'll suffer for this. Mark my words, no amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he is vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any faction. This, quote, wall of light, unquote, he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough things clamber over the walls and feel themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. I still don't know who's writing this, but the royal spy... Oh, it's the head spy. This is the guy that was talking to the Empress. And I don't know if he's the ugly one that we saw in our dream. But he's definitely the one that was talking to the Empress when we arrived. Perhaps I've been working too hard. Dinner and an evening of conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. And it's Hiram Burrows, Royal Spy Master. Yeah, definitely. So the Empress doesn't like being an empress. She likes not being, you know, the ruler of an empire that erases nations and stuff, because that's how empires work. You want the chinwag on SLACKJAW? What he was like when he was young before he got his name? Oh, he's got a cool head now, but it weren't always like that in the days before he was boss of the Bottle Street gang. Time was young SLACKJAW wasn't such a reasonable man. Like most of us, he grew up on the streets, running with a pack of ragamuffins and avoiding the law, pinching whatever he needed, dark-haired and dark-eyed, smoking a pipe by the age of 10. For them born into the brothels or coming from the orphanages, it was either the gangs or working with the mud larks, and no one wants that. Some got pressed into the Navy or put down in the mines run by the Pendleton or Bailey families, actually Boyley families. As hard as it was on the streets, as hungry as we all got, at least we was free. By the time we weren't little uns anymore, SLACKJAW was one to watch, usually calling the shots when we took down a farmer's cart or a sidewalk street vendor. He'd come up with a plan, give everyone some part to play, and decide on the split. Most of us just went along because we learned fast that we made out better like that. More food, more coin, plus none of us wanted to deal with SLACKJAW when he was in a rage. He worked on a couple of big jobs with Black Sally across town, and that was enough to get the attention of the other bosses. He wasn't just a street kid anymore. Now he was an up-and-comer, which meant trouble. Another guy who fancied himself as such was Mike the Fish, who was working his way up running the protection racket among the factory women. One fine evening, we're all talking in a body show in the theater house. Mike the Fish and his lot are there in the cheap seats too, just down the aisle from us. Mike gets a wild idea, he wasn't big on planning, and throws a heavy ceramic spittoon. I think that's the thing that you spit on. It's an old thing. At SLACKJAW, hits him square in the face and breaks his jaw. We look to see if there's gonna be a blood brawl, but SLACKJAW just points at the door and we all leave, with Mike laughing at our backs. Waking up the next day without telling us why, SLACKJAW motions for all of us to follow. He still can't say a word, so we just come along. We stop at the docks and SLACKJAW pays coin for it, a heavy chain covered in hooks. It's for fishing in the deep, something you'd attach to a long line off the side of a ship. It's about 4 feet, made of thick links, and there are shark hooks coming off it at different angles. SLACKJAW's got that thing wrapped around his left arm, dangling at his side. Not sure how he knew where Mike Fish was staying, but when we reach his girl's house, SLACKJAW throws a bottle through the window just like that. It's almost noon. There's a bunch of screaming inside, and Mike pokes his head out, looking wide-eyed and baffled. When he sees SLACKJAW out in the streets, a look comes over his face that still gives me the willies. Pure murder. Mike comes out the side door, bellowing like a blood ox, holding a cleaver, heading straight for SLACKJAW. When they come together in the street, SLACKJAW spins and shark hooks bite deep into Mike's arm and shoulder. He screams, but SLACKJAW holds onto the chain. He's standing there with his jaw broken, clenched tight, with the chain wrapped around his left arm, hook sunk into Mike the Fish, just knifing him as fast as he can. Mike couldn't fight very well, hooked like that and using his left hand, but he was a big guy and he took a lot of stabbing before he went to his knees. Everyone was cheering at first, but then we all went quiet. It just kept going and going until finally it was just Mike the Fish blubbering, crying like a baby, and the sound of SLACKJAW's knife. When it was over, and here's the brilliant part, SLACKJAW took out a note and stuck to Mike's face with a nail. It just said, "If you want a job, come to Bottle Street." SLACKJAW didn't talk right for a couple of months, but word spread fast. By the end of the year, once we had a sizable gang going, he sent out letters to the other bosses, telling them that he was running a brand new crew over on Bottle Street. Most of them laughed out or beat up the guys who delivered the letters. Green-eyed Trish even came back missing a thumb. But apparently SLACKJAW was expecting that kind of reaction and had a backup plan. A week later, 4 of the bosses were dead. Seemed like a series of unfortunate events, but everyone knew better. One shot dead by the watch while standing in the middle of a meat market, another slipping and falling into the water out cold. One of the older bosses found in bed with his belly opened wide and a Tevian pear stuffed into his mouth. Still not sure what that meant. And Shayla Barnsworth was found bubbling in a cauldron of hot wax. SLACKJAW sent out another set of letters, offers to the underbosses, telling them they'd be treated fair as peers. He even sent Green-eyed Trish with one of the letters. All of the underbosses accepted. After spilling the guts of his main competition, SLACKJAW went in for stabilizing his business, real neat-like, calling in favors, smoothing things over, giving everyone a little bit of coin or drink as a bonus, showing what he could be like as a boss. So everything got quiet, which always makes the boys of the City Watch nervous, of course. Word went out among the Royal Spymaster snitches, the responsible citizens group they called themselves, telling everyone working in his shop or sweeping off the front steps of their homes to keep watchful eyes for the SLACKJAW and his men, trying to suss out what they were up to and what had just happened. But SLACKJAW ain't stupid. He greased a few palms among the shopkeepers and the watch too, telling them that he was in town to stay and that things would be run properly from now on, without so much blood. He was finally a real boss, ready to settle into the business of moving whiskey, running the hounds' fights, and offering up the ladies and gentlemen of the night, if you take my meaning. Then the plague came. At first, it seemed like a good thing. A few people got sick and everyone wanted to buy those potions from Sokolov or Piero. Health elixir or spiritual remedy, they call them. SLACKJAW told me he saw an opportunity. We already had an old whiskey factory with a still, where we could water the stuff down and sell it discounted. Doing the same with Sokolov's elixir was a smart plan. Pretty soon everyone in the slums was sick and business was good. But after a while, there were so many people down with the plague that everyone got scared. Everybody started acting real nasty and everything fell apart. When people can't work, they don't have the coin for elixir, watered down or pure. When the Empress died, it seemed like Dunwall would slide into the void. Spymaster Burroughs took over, and the Watch started using all that new Sokolov technology. Watchtowers, tall buoys, and then arc pylons. They put up a wall of light across Clavering Boulevard and cracked down hard. But SLACKJAW surprised us again. Instead of leaving town on a boat bound for Morley or one of the other isles, he stayed and kept it all together. We get as much elixir to fight off the plague as the City Watch, with their taxes and rations, and that's kept us alive so far. And this is a Bottle Street gang member called Crowley. I think we're gonna meet SLACKJAW. Just saying.